What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tyler S. Clark, and welcome to an interview with a dream firm leader. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discussing how our Create Your Dream Firm program, the one that guarantees $50,000 in new business within 1 year of the program, the one that comes with 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching directly from me, the one that teaches you how to build the most efficient and effective systems in the industry to attract and win the business of your dream clients. We're going to be giving you a first-hand account of how that transpires and directly what it leads to. So less from me and more from our dream firm leader. And what I'd like to do is I would like to introduce to you the minister of truth, the advisors, the queen of legal profitability, the dream firm leader of Esquire Accounting, the one, the only, the magnetic, the irresistible, Enae Jackson. What is up, Enae? And welcome to the interview. It's such a pleasure to work with you. Let's kick things off. Anything you want to just say to the room before we dive into the interview directly?
Good morning. And that was fire. Thank you so much, Tyler. I'm going to take you on the road with me.
I will be your permanent hype person, Enae. I'm all about that life. As you guys know, I love to bring the positive energy. So let's go ahead and dive in. Just give us an understanding of when you got started with your accounting firm, Enae.
I started now about 7 months ago. So in May 2020, it was my birthday month. So it was a good time to pivot, get started.
Excellent. And so that's when you got started with Dream Firms, correct?
Yes.
And when did you start your firm itself? When was the birth of Esquire Accounting, or previously, I believe, Enae Jackson Consulting?
Well, so I've been a working accountant now since I finished college in the early 1990s. Don't try to figure out how old I am. As of this year, that's more than 25 years as a working accountant. So of course I started out as a bookkeeper, for several small banks, then spent some time in public accounting firms that were dedicated to entertainers and attorney agents, yay. Then off to corporate, of course, the regular stream that we do as accounting professionals. And there I spent some time focusing in healthcare, pharmaceutical companies and, medical billing offices, Department of Health Services, that type of thing. All the while I had always had this side hustle freelancing, as a bookkeeper / accountant for several clients. And so technically I started years ago. I got serious around 2000, I want to say around 2006, when my oldest was graduating from high school and heading off to college, and plus the struggle of, having to feed the other part of my litter. I affectionately call them my litter because they ate like Rottweilers. And so I always had to have a side hustle. And so as he was going off to college around 2006, that's when I started to give the company a real entrepreneurial, try. Like, this is all I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get it. Really trying to buy that freedom and flexibility of being able to actually be, with the family. I came home one day and they all had mustaches and, chest hairs, and they talked with these really deep voices. And I'm like, who are you people? And it's because I had been at work that I hadn't really, seen the transition. So then is when I officially launched Enae Jackson Atkins Consulting. And over the years, I had worked with construction, general contractors, security firms, restaurants, and still some more of those entertainers remained my clients. And then I also took on some not-for-profits. But just about 4 years ago, I decided to niche. And I also decided that I would make it a completely digital platform because I'm a real, technical type person. And so as I started to focus in on that, it turned out that my clients were attorneys, mostly attorneys and attorney agent types. And so that is currently my focus in my business. I work with attorneys, small business attorney firms, and entrepreneurial attorneys. And so, and it's all digital. So I've been on this digital / virtual platform for this entire time now, the last 4 or 5 years. And so obviously when the pandemic struck, I was already ready for that, so to speak, but I still was not wasn't prepared with time management and all that good stuff, which is when I started my endeavor to look for Tyler.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate the in-depth background. So effectively, we have a large historical background in accounting. We had a side practice that developed over the years, made more of a dedicated shift to it. It sounded like right around 2010 when family started to grow, the litter started to grow. Your words, not mine, just to be clear, for anyone who joined this call late, that wasn't me. And then we had a recognition over time that a niche was starting to develop. Potentially, you found yourself working increasingly inside of the legal profession. I want to maybe take just a brief minute to dive a little bit deeper into that, Enae. And I also want to segue that into also the services that you're offering, because a lot of people who come to dream firms and start conversations, maybe not necessarily elevate to the Create Your Dream Firm program, but a lot of them look at the legal profession and they say, I would love to do that. I'd love to be able to work more inside of that space. So how did you really find yourself getting a couple of those clients early on before us? Yeah. And what are the services that you're offering today that's increasing how many of those clients ultimately want to come and work with you?
Right. So typically the services, historically were just the regular services that we offer: accounting, bookkeeping. Let's do the books. Let's clean the books. Let's, get the debits and credits posted. Let's reconcile the bank accounts, and those types of things. But law firms, just like any other industry, they have their special idiosyncrasies. They have peaks and lows, and they have focuses even within their firms. So the attorneys that I've mostly been working with have been representing others, attorneys, representing like entertainers, things like that. So, and then I have like a concentration of them who do personal injury and a concentration of them, of course, who do civil litigation. So they have, a big focus on trust accounting, and that type of thing. A lot of their cases are contingency based as well. So they're putting a lot of cost up front in hopes that they would settle the case and then take a percentage and then recover their costs. And so what I found in that and doing business with them and having those those things that are very just reflective to their businesses, very just dedicated to their line of work, I started to look more at strategic advising. Based on the results. The results are the results, right? Accountants, we're going to pull those reports, and when we get them, the profit and loss statement, the balance sheet, cash flow, these are things that have already happened that we cannot change. We can't change. We can reclass, but it's not going to change the effect. It's not going to change the bottom line effect. The money is already gone. Most of us are looking at these things on a cash basis, so you can't reverse cash, right? But what you can do is you can take the results and you can forecast and or manage and or try and predict and or will what the future could be based on what the trend of those results are. So what I've done now for my clients is I now offer them strategic advisory service. And so the bookkeeping and accounting now is just a small piece. It's just the added feature to getting to the strategic advisory service, which includes forecasting and cash management, scenario writing, legendary strategic business plan writing, so that a company can not only sustain, but also succeed what, the trends and results are feeding out to them. This is obviously extremely important now and in this, this COVID economy, that we have now. So I literally spend a lot of time now rewriting those scenarios. What is it going to look like if you don't get another person to walk into the building? What is that going to look like? And so we stream that out. It even helps us with, how much money we need for relief, for example. And I'm saying we, because I literally partner with my clients. I'm not their practitioner. I am their partner. I partner with them so that we can overcome whatever hurdles are presenting themselves in the results, so that we can obviously take what we have and turn those lemons, if that's what they are, into lemonade, if that makes sense.
This is such a fantastic answer. And there's so many nuggets golden nuggets that we could easily gloss over, but I want to take a minute and emphasize a couple of the things Enae said that are so powerful. The language that she's using in terms of partnering, right? What does a lawyer fundamentally want? make partner, right? That's a very powerful terminology that Enae uses to her advantage. She has experience inside of the space, and she uses that experience to her advantage to understand the peaks and valleys of their business cycle. She also understands the environment of what's going on inside of the world right now, and isn't just sitting back on her heels and just, hopefully it goes back to normal tomorrow. It's clearly not. She's proactively taking that information and turning it into something meaningful for her clients. What else did she do? She did not neglect the fact that bookkeeping and tax are still very much a part of her service offerings. A lot of people think that you move to this advisory model and you're going to be able to advise without being able to have the information to do the advisory services on. Yes, advisory is forward facing, of course. But at the same time, you have to take what is the true state of their business, show that to them, and have them understand these are lagging indicators. This is one of my favorite things to be discussing right now. When you're looking at your P&L, as Enae said, that's all happened. Can't do anything about that. But advisory is now looking at leading indicators. What are the things that aren't showing up on here? What are the things that this isn't accounting for? That a high-level conversation, a well-conducted analysis is going to show you. And so again, bravo, Enae, that's fantastic. I want to dive just a little bit deeper into the advisory service piece with you before we move a little bit in terms of kind of dream firms and some of the problems I think we've helped you to navigate as a team. But when people hear this word advisory, I think a lot of them just go, how? How are you getting someone from your accounting and tax package into an advisory package? I just had an hour-long hot seat where I talked specifically about how to help someone transition to doing this, but I want to hear it straight from someone who's been in the trenches, been successfully doing this. What is that process like? Guide us through that.
So most of our clients don't really know how to read their financial statements, right? They don't, most of our clients don't know the difference. I mean, if you have those, kudos to you. But most of our clients don't even know the difference between revenue and cash, right? How many conversations do we get to have at month end where they say, oh, I have so much money in the bank, or, and so why isn't this, happening? Well, because there's a difference between the two. So there are questions that need to be answered. And a lot of times our clients don't know what the question is, even though they should know what the question and the answer is. And so, and me developing the need or getting them to pretty much admit that there is a need there, I had to, pose some questions to them. And so the first question now I moved to this question was created in this environment that we are in. But this question is, how is COVID, how is the pandemic affecting your business? So, so people don't know, we know that it's not good, and we're angry, and oh my God, the doors are closed, or my people are gone, or I can't, do my salaries. But what does that mean on a granular level? Do you know how it is affecting you? Dollars and cents. And most of them will say no. The next question is, how much are you spending and or saving monthly? Now, they don't know. They'll, we'll pull my profit and loss statement, or they'll say, well, this is how much money I have in the bank. Again, on a granular level, what the heck does that mean? So if they don't know the answer to question number one and or number two, then they need me. The next one is, how long will your cash last in this current climate? And then, going forward, a lot of people don't know that. Some of us as individuals don't know that, So, but that is important, especially now. Another critical question that I'm saying to them, which is again very relevant. I make a statement to them. You need money right now. You need money. How much do you need? Who knows? So we just want to keep walking at everybody. I need this relief. I need this relief. Well, how much do you need? How much do you need? That is important to know as well. Do you have a business plan for lenders, investors, and or growth? You don't? You need me. Do you have a cash forecast? And that's actually, redundant, in response to the other question I asked. Do you know how to compile your financials in QuickBooks? A lot of people think that they do. But if you guys have done QuickBook cleanup, you know that they don't. So, but a lot of my clients won't answer yes to that. Of course I do. Well, great, share that with me and I'll do a quick profit analysis for you. And then I'll download the stuff and it's a hot mess. And then of course, are you profitable? And people tend to say no, and let's see how we can change that. Of course, if you don't know, then you need me. And of course, do you have clean books? Are you profit analysis ready? So if your books are clean, great. Then let's see if you are profitable. I can run that to 5 minutes, I'll run that number right back to you. But in most cases, the books are not clean enough to do that in 5 minutes. And that usually is the gotcha right there. When they turn that over to me and I'm like, well, I wanted to really spin this off to you, but I couldn't. I mean, because you got equities, you got revenues in your equities, you got expenses in your assets, so on and so forth. So we had to clean things up because bookkeeping, obviously, and accounting, that's the foundation of everything. And so that's going to be autonomous to the package, and strategic advisory is the upgrade, but it's the necessary upgrade. And my clients, they know that going in because they need those questions answered. In fact, we all do.
Wow. Right. If you didn't take notes during that, shame on you. I just want to come out and say it, like pen to paper right now. And the emphasis of what Enae just shared with us is that we get into the habit of statements. What we need to get into the habit of is asking powerful questions to things every entrepreneur should have answers to. Especially if you're looking at offering advisory services for a client, right? That there's a certain client that's going to be willing to invest in that threshold. But if they don't have answers to, these are basics, right? I mean, they sound obvious to you and I and everyone else who's in the accounting space, but what is obvious to us is not obvious to them. And showing them that they don't have the basics in place yet, it is an easy lead in to why they either need to switch, why they need to upgrade, because they're not getting, we talk about value a lot. Value is this word swirling around all the time, but we never really put tangibility to it. Value is results. It is a synonym for results. Enae can deliver better results for her clients when she asks tough questions that they can't get answers to. She can give them those answers, those results, and then build on them. And now, to her point, what else did she say there? How many times did she say, you need me? You need me. No passiveness. No, I think I can help you. I kind of think I could. No, you need me. You can't have an advisor who's passive. That's not to say be aggressive, but that's to say, if you really want to move into this space, be like Enae. And when I say be like Enae, know your worth. Let it come from your very being. Know it because you've come prepared. You've put the time in. You've got your questions written down. She wasn't making that up. She's looking like this. She's going to come prepared to client meetings, prospective client meetings. She's going to come to meetings with her coach. She is always prepared. That's what I want in an advisor. And that's exactly what your clients want as well, and prospective clients. So let's not miss out on that. So let's talk a little bit about life before Dream Firms, Enae, because I know a lot's happened since we started working together, but just paint the picture before we really had a chance to start working together. What did that look like?
Yeah, so it was pretty scary. Before working with Dream Firms, I was pretty much overworked, overwhelmed, overthinking my every move, thinking about, cussing a lot, thinking about flipping the tables, throwing my desk out the window, that type of thing. The pandemic made it very apparent that I was not making effective use of my time and or valuing even my time. I didn't have the correct valuation associated with my time. And so I was simply riding on luck and good reputation in terms of getting clients. And so, a lot of them have come from word of mouth and, everybody, talking to each other. But when that whole, COVID thing came, it was like, those clients are they going to go silent, or what am I going to do? I've never done any marketing, I've never done any sales, I've never, so I really had to think about what it is that I would even market and or promote and or sell, or how would I sustain my own business. And that's when I started to work and look for ways out of that. So I did some thinking, I did some crying, I did, I and I just went on a search to find, what I found in Tyler and Dream Firms. I had tried some other things, before, but I literally had not tried, really just praying for direction. So I tried that, and here we are now.
Well, that's amazing to hear, and appreciate that we've been able to that you're willing to share that with us. But could you maybe give us some specific hurdles that you feel you were experiencing at the time? Obviously, this is right at the beginning of the pandemic. Things really maybe not quite settled in yet in terms of the reality of the situation. But what are some of the regular recurring problems, I'd say, that you were running into at that time?
Time management, and time management, it was my biggest struggle, and and consistently my biggest struggle. So as a result of that, there were money struggles, because time is money. They're synonymous. And so to make it plain, I was spending time doing things that they were not income producing for me. Even though you're hearing me say all these things that I've done over and over and over again, I was spinning my wheels with some clients, and just spending all that time and spending all that energy. And I was really at that time realizing this is not income producing for me. When I looked at my own numbers, this is not income producing. So in essence, I was spending money because I wasn't spending my time right, if that makes sense. I'm sure it does. So time and money was the big struggle, for me.
You had mentioned other programs, and I know a lot of people watching this have, for lack of a better term, been burned before. I like to say purchased overpriced and outdated information as a general rule of thumb, things that were made in 2017 or haven't been updated in a while, asking for top dollar, and don't necessarily potentially have what I'll just say is the support systems in place to even maximize any of that training in the first place. And I ask this because I'm curious, what have you tried before Dream Firms, Enae? What, if you're willing to share it, and I'm not here to badmouth anybody, just to be clear. A lot of other programs do fantastic things,
Right.
but I am curious to know what you tried before us.
I did try other platforms. I'm actually still, a friend / associate of another CPA who does something similar. So, and he's, everybody knows him if you use Facebook. Everybody knows it. So I tried that over the years. I've tried a few things. I did some self-help, do it yourself sales and marketing type things where you're going to click and do your thing. But like Tyler is saying, a lot of those were not updated. And so I really couldn't maximize that. And I didn't get any ongoing support. So even though I was able to gain a result, I couldn't perpetuate those results. So because if you can show me, how something will work, and I can make it work for myself, I'm sold. All right, I'll do it. But I couldn't get the ongoing support. I couldn't get married into, I couldn't get a partner, so to speak, with perpetuating the success that was being offered, in these programs. And so I tried that. I did the do-it-yourself sales and marketing. I did career camps. I did, better business coaches and lead clubs and all of that. And I did a little bit of voodoo and a hokey pokey and turn yourself around, it's just all kind of stuff, that I was, putting out there because I wasn't afraid to take those, that looked like small risks, to get to some of the results that were being, expanded or exemplified, to me. But I was undone because obviously none of those things worked long term. And that was a problem for me. And so it was a refreshing, refreshing to find, this company, Dream Firms, and to be able to do this. And so the only thing, like I said before, that I had not done before I tried all this other stuff, the voodoo and the hokey pokey and turning myself around, the only thing that was left to do was just to say, oh God, what am I going to do? So, and that's what I did. I set the prayer up, and then I found Tyler.
Well, I don't know if I'll just say that's awesome. Hard to say if able to attribute any sort of any sort of that to this, but hey, I love it. I appreciate you sharing that. And I think a lot of people, they struggle with getting started. They struggle with the first step. And for you, Enae, you're so many steps beyond where a lot of people are who are watching this right now. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like to just have you explain what that first step was like, what it felt like getting started with Dream Firms.
So like everything else and like everyone else, I was, stuck in my ways. And even though I wanted that different thing, of course, insanity was ensuing, right? We're going to, want something different, but we're going to keep doing the same thing. That's absolutely crazy, right? But what really pushed me into overcoming, and actually getting started were these things. And I will share with you how I actually got started. But what drove me to actually doing that is that when I found this so-called answer to my prayer in Dream Firms, I loved the exclusivity of the group. I loved that that I would be working with a professional or a team of professionals, in him and Maureen, get excited, that had taken the time to focus, their efforts on me, my business, and my industry / profession. I know CPA Academy wants us to say profession now. Get excited. So, and they had done that only and on purpose. So the fact that Tyler is outgoing and, he's out of the box, he's a little unhinged, he's unafraid and audacious and generous and patient. And he is the only other made for TV accountant that I know other than myself. I was totally blown away by the fact that he wasn't, some monotone voice in a box, that was just going to be saying, okay, push this button and do this. And, he and Maureen have been real people. They have made a real connection, and that was important to me. So when it came to actually getting started, I didn't want to jeopardize that. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to work in that exclusivity. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to have that access. So getting started to me was a struggle, and it still is a struggle. Because even though, like he introduced, in the beginning, I'm this minister, I speak a lot and all that stuff, doing this, actually, I'm fearful to do it. And, even at my age and my level of experience, I'm fearful to just get out there and do things, especially in a big audience. So yeah, I know it's weird. Y'all pray for me.
Well, first of all, that was humbling to hear. And there's a reason that we have a limit in terms of the number of firms we let into the program in the first place. And it's because I don't want to sacrifice the experience that Enae has had, where we do account for the unique situation that she's going through and anyone else would be going through. Her firm and the way it operates and the experience level she has and her strengths and her weaknesses are different than yours. They're different. And if you try and, here's your box, here's your course, you go in here, this is the one thing to do. And that doesn't make sense at a fundamental level. And I want to thank Enae for what she just shared with us there. And I also want to share a little bit of like an Enaeism. I don't know, Enaeism. She will share things with us. And like I said, advisor to advisors, I pick up amazing things from Enae. I pick up amazing things from all of our clients. And that's, again, part of the value is it's not just me. It's Enae, it's Tom, it's Scott. It's all of these different people who are coming together with the same mission in mind. But here's what we all have in common. We're all scared. Fear doesn't go anywhere. And to use an Enaeism, do it scared. Do it scared. And I'm going to share one other thing that came across my radar today. ClickFunnels sent me something in the mail. They always send stuff in the mail. And the quote that's on this that caught my eye is, there is no growth in comfort, and there is no comfort in growth. Got to keep doing it. Got to show up every day. People who tell you it's easy are fat liars.
Yeah, they're not
Anything
doing.
worth doing is difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into a little bit of the here and now. Enae, how has working with us changed your life? Well, let's talk about the good stuff now.
Cool. Yeah. Well, things are in perspective now. So I'm not forced, or rather, I don't feel forced to work with or take on clients and projects that don't align with my why and or personal and professional core values. So I'm not being led by money desperation. Desperation has been shown the door. Bye-bye. Allowing me the mind space to remember and reflect on what it is that I am really, passionate about, and what I do. Now, of course, I wouldn't do this in real life. And I know that it sounds crazy. So I'm not thinking of doing this. But between y'all, just y'all and me, I love what I do, and I would do it for free. Except that, I got to eat. And Big Daddy is not, gonna let me do this for free. He's gonna do that. Big Daddy is my husband. I'm sorry, my boyfriend today. So I have balance now. I have, defined boundaries, and a new bundle of cash too. So exciting about that. What more can you ask for?
So essentially, we're no longer making decisions out of desperation. I think bundle of cash came up. We've got our priorities better aligned. And I want to maybe come back to one of the problems you addressed before you started working with us. Time. I think a lot of people, they get to the end of their day, they get to the end of their work week, and they sit back and they go, where did that go? What happened? What did I even accomplish?
Yeah.
And so from that major thing we're all working through, myself included, everybody, what's maybe something from the time management perspective that you feel has dramatically helped you as a part of this program here, Enae?
So what really caught me, guys, and I know you guys have all done this, was in the Igniter Challenge. And I keep saying this. I've said it in our group. I said it, this was the secret to my, my shift, my pivot. In the Igniter Challenge, there's that one where you piecemeal your calendar and you block this time out and you block. And I just remember the emphasis on, Tyler saying, look, if this is the time that you have dinner, or, you sit down with the family, make sure that time is blocked out, and, blah, 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 and get it off your calendar and yada, yada, yada. And so I did that. And I had never really done that before. I had kept myself open, and then I would complain, when the phone would ring at midnight, from, France, or something like that. I would use France, right? Because that's where you are, but that's,
I wasn't calling you.
Right. Have a client in Canada who would just any old time, but I hadn't really defined those boundaries. I hadn't said that. It was just lip service till then, and I would say that all the time. God first, family second, and career and everything else follows. But that wasn't what was happening in my life. Actually, it was career, all the time, because money, was on my brain, and, paying these, Southern California mortgage, and these, feeding now my legacy of Rottweilers, because all the kids now have kids of their own. And, and so, and I have to do all this glammy stuff. So anyway, I digress. But it was that literally changed my life. It shifted, my life to really dig in, put those boundaries up, and make them stay there. It put things in perspective for me. And so I'm not going to take calls at dinner time. I'm not going to take calls on date night. I'm not going to review reports on Saturday night. And, and on Sunday morning, I'm not going to look at cash flow, forecast. I should be preparing for sermons actually. So I'm not going to do that anymore. But I was doing that. I literally, you guys, got a call sitting in a pulpit one day, and the little adjutant is running over to me. She's like, the phone won't stop. The phone won't stop. And it just, I almost had a breakdown there. Like, what am I doing here? And so prior to Dream Firms, that was really, whacked out. My time was a hot mess. And so things are in perspective now. They're in the right place. And that my calendar is sacred, to me, and where things belong. It's sacred. And I'm not flexible when it comes to that, thanks to Dream Firms. So
time is our most precious asset. We can always make more money. We can never make more time. And we all get into entrepreneurship. Yeah, make more money in less time, but it's also about being able to control our time. And I find it fascinating that most entrepreneurs, they never actually enforce the boundaries that would allow them to win back their time, to prioritize date night, to prioritize family time, to be able to just make sure that things are in their proper place. And there's something I share quite a bit now. It can wait. You are not on call 24/7. It can wait. But make sure you have those boundaries in place. That's fantastic. Enae, we're going to move a little bit faster here. So we're going to do a little bit rapid fire because if you guys have questions, I can see a bunch filing in. Drop them in now for Enae. I'll make sure they get answered. So again, drop questions and we'll be happy to answer them. So very quickly here, what do you enjoy most about working with us?
The accountability and the collaboration. The collaborative structure of the coaching program, the greatest inspiration and stimulant to creativity, I believe, is collaborating with other masterminds, in my own opinion. The over-the-top exciting piece of this collaboration is that the group is padded with like-minded people, skilled, proactive, and business geniuses, all of you. Oh my God, I've been so impressed by that. And so the access to that, the access to Tyler, the access to Maureen, and the access to the highly capable and vetted group of professionals that are here is invaluable to me.
I like to say people self-select in or they self-select out, and the people who self-select in, well, let's just say they are extremely, extremely high caliber and high capacity individuals. How much did you add to your firm and in what time frame, if you are willing to share? No pressure.
It's been 32%. I'll share that. That's
Okay.
huge because it's only been 7 months now. I just can't wait to see what this really looks like after an entire 365 days. And so we're on a positive trajectory, and we're averaging now, like I said, 32 to 35% growth since starting. And I didn't expect to see that until 365 days out. That was the promise, actually. So so we're doing better than the promise.
Systems take time to get operational and things get better over time. Wins stack on top of each other. A lot of people say, hey, what is going to happen in the 8 weeks? And I say, you've got the wrong mentality. It's about the next 8 months and what we accomplish in these 8 weeks that will radically alter your firm in the next 30% bump with advisory and legal clients, like protecting your time. Like it's almost hard to put tangible monetary values on these things, but they'll keep getting better. Thank you for sharing, Enae.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone considering our services right now?
The only thing you have to lose is growth. That's, if you're considering, then you're wasting growth. You're wasting time, and time is money. And so the results are measurable and they are forthwith. So start now.
She said it, not me. Why do you consider this one of the best investments you've made in your business?
Well, because of I know it sounds crazy and colloquial, but it's almost instantaneous return on the investment. It simply left me speechless and, wondering where I'd be if I had not found you when I found you, and then also has left me beating myself across the head that I didn't find you 2 years ago, at least, So having everything offered is tried and true by others and now by me. I love that. It's really been an investment that in myself because I was able to buy my time back, and my time is valuable. I didn't know actually how much my time costs until I started, analyzing and looking at things through the systems, that were taught, by Tyler and Maureen here. And so I bought my time back. And my time, when I found out, it actually appreciates in value. And so it allows me to sell my time, for more value, for more money. So this is and has been my most valuable investment, in that I've made what I like to refer to as an acquisition of an appreciable asset, which is my time. And so the ROI has been the bomb.com.
That is awesome. And what surprised you the most about growing your firm? What's something that kind of caught you by surprise?
That I could do it in this time frame. I guess. I mean, I've been at it a long time, so even now trying to, realize these results, people would say, oh, maybe look at the whole scheme of things and go, well, yeah, it's been 25 years, it's about time. But I really had not effectively worked or focused in on it. I'm considering my real focus being these last 7 months, because I'm now actually doing something that really works and will perpetuate that success that I'm looking for. So the surprise is that I could even do it, and do it this quickly. So I really, again, I can't imagine what's going to come when I really do know what I'm doing in terms of what I've learned, so that's been surprising to me.
Hey, that's a fantastic surprise to experience. Who would you recommend the Create Your Dream Firm program to?
I would refer it specifically. I do have a referral, but I would refer this to folks who are like me, like afraid, but that you have to get it done. Folks who really are passionate about their work and or their business, and creating that legacy to leave, for others, whether it be your family, or if you just want to make a name in the industry that says, hey, I did it like this. I mean, when I'm dead and gone, you guys are always going to remember the irresistible Enae, because that's just, who I am. So I want to leave that legacy of, being irresistible, to my clients and those whom I have worked with. And so I would specifically refer this to anyone who is, having trouble getting over the fear of being great, because it's a challenge in itself, but greatness is for us all. If you could dream it, if you could think it, if you could see it, just a piece of it before you see it, it could be yours, and even bigger, than that. And that's really what that faith is all about, like seeing it before you see it, and then taking the steps to realize it, knowing that faith is an action. It's not just waiting on something to happen. Actually, faith has to be activated. And so Dream Firms has allowed me to do the work of making the things happen that I've seen in my faith funnel.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you for that. And funny thing is that Enae said something way earlier that just popped back into my mind. She talked about generational wealth, right? The idea that she's going to leave a legacy, which I love. But she also said something earlier about, I love what I do it for free. And not a lot of people are willing to say that. Like, the money to me is, again, a lagging indicator of what you're willing to do on the front end. And if you genuinely love what you have to do, right, you put it in your work, the exact answer that she just gave, we'd love to be able to work with you. So we're going to keep going here. How close are you to winning your first Dream Firm award? For those unfamiliar, that's $100,000 in new business built and collected in less than 365 days. I don't know if, again, we might be treading closer to giving official numbers. Just, are you like, you real close? You kind of close? Like, what's that?
I'm on track.
Okay.
And so I'm on track to, and I wanted to qualify that question by asking, are we looking at our gross, our net? I mean, because you guys know that there are expenses against this money, right?
Yes.
So
billed and collected, it's essentially new revenues brought in. Okay.
Boom. Okay. I'm in there, baby. I'm in there.
Because the nice thing about it is we're going to be looking at how we're going to chip away at expenses, build more efficient systems over time. That profitability is going to go up. Their investments in your services go up over time. I mean, they might start on that bookkeeping tax, but Enae knows, hey, you know what? Got to move you up. Got to move you up. You need me, right? You need me, Enae.
Irresistible. That's right.
That's exactly right. Okay. Okay. So I've got my Q&A session now. So let me go ahead and just take a quick look at some of the things that are streaming in. I've got from Mary. She says, wow, congrats on the growth, Enae. That's absolutely awesome. Is this being recorded? From Philip? I'd love to watch this again. 100% Philip, this is going to be recorded. Is there a website for your business, Enae? From Sophia. You got a quick one you want to just say what's up on?
It is esquireaccounting.com, but it won't be up until, or back up. They're doing some fancy stuff to it. It won't be back up, I think, until December 28th. But
okay.
I do have that.
Awesome. I'm sure some people will take a look at that like that. Sophia also asks, are you 100% now working for yourself? I assume the answer is definitively yes.
Yes, definitively yes.
Awesome. Another person asking about a recording, 100% client meeting. Go get that client or go give them some fantastic finale. I think that might be, who is this? SHA. I'm sorry, it's not showing me the rest. Laura, thank you for providing the interview. Thank you, Enae, for sharing your humor and honesty. This has been informative, inspiring, and of course, a great assessment of Dream Firm's offerings. Thank you, Laura. Hope we have a chance to elevate our relationship in the not so distant future. Yeah. I've got a question from Katrina. Your honesty about your struggles is appreciated. Fear is real, even when the situation is exhilarating. I love that comment, not necessarily a question. I've got one from Ben. I'm really struggling to decide on a niche. Do you help with that, Tyler? Everyone talks about it, but no clear direction. I mean, look at Enae's face. Yes. We give you very clear, specific, concrete steps. A lot of people struggle with this. And I won't say it's the key to unlocking growth, but I think it's one of the major elements that when you get it in place and you really feel that that's the right direction for you, everything else gets a lot more efficient after that. Stephen, what have you been doing to consistently get booked appointments on your calendar? I'm struggling with getting even one. Enae, do you want to chime in on that?
Again, right from the Igniter, I sent that wonderful email challenge out there. And then, of course, I joined the coaching program and implemented some other things more specifically, the lead generation specialist. Oh my God, thank you so much. And so my calendar has been filled to the point that it's overwhelming, only overwhelming in that I got to do all these interviews now.
Good problem to have. So yeah, for people unfamiliar, lead generation specialist is meant to answer the question of, you have to invest time or money to grow your business. There's no way getting around that. And if you are going to invest time, eventually that's not a good use anymore, right? Like you have to understand, you got to extract yourself from all of the minutia of your business. And another Enaeism, going from doer to director. That's the goal. We got to get you high level activities only. And so lead generation specialist is, if you could create an extra 4 hours in the day to exclusively market your business, what would you do with that time? And how would you make sure that that's being done as efficiently as possible? And also shout out to Igniter. Enae implemented it, didn't just wait, didn't just let it sit on the shelf, didn't say, I'll get to it sometime, implemented, calendar booked. That's what's up. I've got a, Philip, how much time did you actually spend with Tyler? I've been burned by other programs before promising one-on-one help and they didn't do anything.
Well, we've been on a date now since May, right, bro? I mean, there's the team coaching, there's the personal coaching. It happens every week. And then we have our hot seat every month. And he says that to hit me up in my Voxer, of course he has his boundaries as well, but he's accessible. And I absolutely love that. So I don't get stuck on anything, those super tight, fearful things that I have to overcome, like the fear of putting my own Facebook Live out there, get excited. He has been like the guy who's been out there. I think he set this up just, to wreck my nerves. But yes, I've been spending consistent time with him because that's what the program offers. And there have been tangible results. As a result of doing that, I've gotten tangible results in the company as well.
Again, I like to say, I'm not going to be the reason you don't succeed. You want to put it on me. You want to put it on my shoulders. Like, let's go. You give me a little, you get a lot back. That's always the trade I want you to know you're making with dream firms. I've got a question from Jennifer. How do I learn more about your program? Jennifer, there will be links somewhere surrounding here, email down below in comment section. You're going to be able to book a call, learn exactly what it includes. Again, 50K guarantee in 1 year, 8 weeks of one-on-one coaching directly with me, hot seats, group coaching, and lifetime access to the best material in the industry, constantly updated. Everything was made this calendar year. We'll do a fresh reboot in 2021 because the market changes every year, guys. You know, things change. And when that change happens, you're not going to be left in the dark. No upsells, none of that. You're with us. You're with us for life. I'm a solopreneur, Patrick. I can only take 2 more questions. I've got a few left. I'm a solopreneur and feeling stuck with my growth. Do you think this program can help me? Yes, Patrick, just at least explore it. You owe yourself that much. Christy says, does the program cover Google ads? Yes, it does, Christy, 100%. We are experts in that space. Mark, I'm considering joining another course. How are you different? Mark, I'm going to just go back to the fundamental differences that Enae shared with us here. The one-on-one attention and the cohesiveness of the like-minded group. Most people want to put you on an island, and then it's your fault when you didn't implement because their materials suck and they don't provide the support system that allows you to get to where you want to go. And then you feel guilty and you're comparing that poor experience against what we have. Give us a shot. Are they putting in writing that they're going to 10x your investment? Because we are. That's another way to think about it. Maybe, kind of, sort of. I maybe got one more. Gotcha, will book call. Link, please. Mark, will do. Helen, send link, please. Will do. Christy, when is the next start date for the program? We're booked up for this upcoming Monday. So Monday following Christmas. So basically the first week in the new year, we're able to take new people into the program, but we can only usually have 3 slots open each week and they fill up really fast. So I would not wait. Let's see here. And I think that's about it. Enae, any additional parting shots before we say adieu?
All I have to say is this: it's totally worth your time. It's totally worth your money. And people have a tendency to say it don't work. It doesn't work. It works when you work it. So if you're willing to work, then you can have the growth. And thank you, Tyler and Maureen, for your continued support and your continued help and service to my business. I owe it all to you.
Enae, and let me just turn that back right around to you and say thank you for being the type of client, being my dream client, the type of person who shows up, puts in the effort, and ultimately reaps the rewards and is willing to be the kind of person who can share those experiences. And it's an absolute pleasure and honor to work with us. Again, quick wrap up, guys. This is Enae Jackson of Esquire Accounting. She is the bomb. And if you want to get results similar, better than Enae, whatever it is, or even a little bit worse, and you'll still be doing pretty friggin' fantastic. What I want you to do is just book a call directly with us. The link will be down below. Learn exactly what the program has to offer. And ultimately, we'll find out if you are a good fit to create your dream firm with our program. So again, thank you, Enae. It's been an absolute pleasure. Remember, only you can make your dream firm a reality, but we're here to help you every single step of the way. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your work week, everyone.